Good evening, everyone. Happy Bank Holiday Monday. Hope you've had a lovely day and a lovely weekend. After a weekend of 3 playoff finals where almost none of the teams participating wanted to conclude the action within a 2-hour period, we have our rescheduled alternative end-of-season FRI awards, and we will do our best to keep it to extra time and not penalties. Joining me tonight, we have a panel of regulars to discuss all the major talking points and to help me decide the winners and the losers. Before we say hello and good evening to them, let's roll the titles.
Take my hand, take my whole life too, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Just a quick bit of admin before we start. You may have seen on our socials that I've been putting out. We have got a bit of an idea for something to celebrate the anniversary of the playoff win over Leicester City. So if you were there on that terrific day at Wembley and you would like to be part of an FRI feature, it'll only take a minute of your time. Please do get in touch on any of our socials and we will let you know what we're planning to do and how you can be involved. Please do, if you're able to, get involved because it could potentially be a really good little feature we put together. Let's say hello to tonight's panel. And first, I'm delighted to say hello and good evening to Rich. How are you, buddy?
Hi there, mate. You all right?
You're very well, thank you. Very well. You looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, not too bad. Hopefully, I win something, but not won't be too worried if I don't.
Well, I know that you felt particularly aggrieved last year that you didn't walk away with more awards.
Yeah, I think I should have had maybe 1 or 2, but we'll see. We'll see. I think my chances are even more slim this year, but we'll see. We'll never know. Never know.
Well, there are plenty of awards on offer, so hopefully you at least get a nomination.
Oh, that'll be a start. Yeah,
I've
got my speech ready just in case, but but we'll see. We'll see.
But next, a man who will be equally hoping for a nomination, if not an award. Let's say hello and good evening to Ben.
Evening, Fifey. How are we today?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right. So not bad. Decent weather today. Actually, no, it wasn't decent weather. It was a bit chilly today, wasn't it? I was a bit disappointed.
Oh, I
with
thought
you.
it was quite nice.
Yeah, it was that. Midlands,
Yeah.
wasn't it? It was overcast and chilly.
Overcast until about 2 p.m. and then the sun
Yeah.
came out.
So it was a bit.
So I should be in Swindon, not in the Midlands. That's your
But
error.
the thing is, mate, that Swindon are, as the Twitter folks say, Swindon are massive, which means we've got fan bases not just localised in the Wiltshire area, but across the country and the continent and even the world.
Oh, mate,
everywhere you go, Swindon massive.
I didn't. I wasn't talking about the actual fan base.
Just me and Ben specifically.
Literally just complaining about the weather. Well, we've had incredible weather here today. So
next up, let's welcome a man who, I'm going to call it viral. If his viral picture's anything to go by, then he's been warming up for his acceptance speeches. That's for sure. Evening, Woody.
Good evening. Good evening. How are we?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I think I'm already spotting a delay, so I'm wondering if I might have to switch to my iPad halfway through this. But as long as you lot can hear me going through while talking shite, that's all that matters.
We can hear you fine. There doesn't seem to be any delay coming through our end. So
happy days.
Good.
Happy days.
And we have one more panelist. Surely Ivan Tony's favourite to win Fool's Fool of the Year. Evening, Nick.
Let's have a bet on it, shall we?
You'll have Tony betting.
In the dull weather in North Oxfordshire this morning, being another outcast from Swindon. So there are, I think there's more people away from Swindon than actually in Swindon on the podcast.
Well, it's the opportunity for us all to get together. We can't all just meet up at one of the local pubs because of the distance. This is why we reach out to people all over the place to get involved.
Top job.
We have many awards to decide tonight, gents, but we have some admin to do first. And the best place to start is to wish one of our very own a very happy birthday. Ned was hoping to be part of the awards panel, but with the rescheduling of the event, it's conflicted with his birthday. And quite rightly, he has better things to be doing than spending his evening with us. So we would like to send him warmest birthday wishes from everyone at FRI.
He was very worried in that cartoon of him, isn't it? It's a very worried, concerned-looking Ned.
Always very concerned. Nick's able to join us in the audience as well. Evening, Nick, or morning, depending on the time frame where you are. Hope you are well, buddy. Someone else who's already agreed to be part of our little LCFC project that I've got going on at the moment. For anyone who hasn't seen it already as well, favourite of FRI, Skipper Bowles has announced that she's leaving Swindon Town Women now that the season's concluded. So again, we hope that she's certainly not going to be a stranger to us, and we hope to see and hear plenty more from her in the not too distant. But of course, we wish her the very best in whatever she chooses to do next and wherever she turns up next. That is for sure. Nick just confirming 5 hours behind, and a nice mug, Woody, says Joe. Jen, should we get straight in to the awards? Because otherwise it could be a long one, because it's not like we always agree on everything, is it? And potentially some difficult ones to choose, but some important ones to get out of the way early. So award number 1 for the evening, guest panelist of the year. We've split these out a little bit to give everyone a fair chance. So by guest panelist, someone who would feature on at least one show. They're not one of our 11 or 12 regulars that we have, and someone who's either brought a sensibility to what is generally a chaotic and absolute carnage episode twice a week, or someone who's brought the laughs with them as well. Woody, would you like to offer up the first nomination for guest panelist of the season?
Yeah, well, I was just trying to Google what his surname was, but I have to admit the one that's probably just come on with just absolute delight and the one opposition fan that I always wanted to do well was definitely Matt from Steve.
No. We're not doing opposition fans separate.
Well, what other guests? Well, otherwise we've only had women guests. So it's okay.
So, for example, you can have the likes of Joe, you can have the likes of Claire, you can have the likes of Mark.
Mark Rogers.
Now we have got the delay coming through, Woody. Superb.
Move on. Go to someone else because I've not got this one.
Okay, Nick, guest panel.
Well, that's
Nick, hang on, the other Nick's already thrown Woody under the bus here. You calling me a woman, Woody?
I think.
Nick, who would you like to put forward for this award?
I think for me, there's only one person I can put forward this who's an absolute superstar, and that's JoJo. So she's top girl, love JoJo to bits. So 100% absolutely top lady.
Okay. Ben, anyone that's come on this season and offered something unique to the panel?
I think you give a special nod to Jo because also she's a supplier of these fantastic mugs that we all own. But I also want to give a shout out to John, a Quizmaster General, who contributes fairly often. He's come on and every now and then like to set his piece. He's a lovely man, really, really nice top bloke. Couldn't want a nicer bloke, and he's really, really informed in all Swindon Town. So I will plump for John.
Okay, Rich.
I'm gonna say because I think every guest that we've had on has been fantastic. I think the one person though, and if this one's allowed, I'm not sure what the rules are with this particular one is.
I'll soon tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think is Grace and Grace's mum, Michelle.
Yeah.
I just think they've been such good content whenever they've come on, and yeah, they always provide a good laugh. So I'm gonna say those two. Okay,
Woody. Now that you got the idea, do you want to throw a nomination?
Now that I understand the assignment. There's a lot there actually, just through what the lads have already said. So, yeah, obviously Nick was a good one. He was a good.
Nick
woman
was very good when he came on.
He was a good woman to have on the show. I was, you know what? As the lads were thinking, I was thinking I need to think of someone without upsetting anybody. But then I've never been acclaimed to be the best person on the podcast, so I really didn't give a shit who I upset, to be totally honest. And because. I'm gonna agree with Rich, and for two reasons. One, because they're absolute top quality content, those two, and two, because I'm going to take a little bit of pride in knowing that they were going to be good quality content to get them on. So yeah, they get it for me. Yeah, but everybody's been great.
Yeah, we always say we are very fortunate that so many high quality guests agree to take time out of their schedules to join us. You've got Claire as well, and you were talking about contributions. She not only been on maybe 3 or 4 shows this season, but is quite happy for us to use her photos as part of what we're doing as well. Quite rightly, Nick's been mentioned. Alice as well, who we said at the start, being phenomenal guest on 5 or 6 occasions this season.
We count her as a regular now, though, Fifey, don't we? Given the fact that she nearly hosted her own show, we can't.
Nearly. Let's not forget the nearly hosting is still on schedule, as far as I know. As far as I know, she still plans to have her own summer episode.
Well, because she can probably
say a special mention to.
Now.
I was going to say a special mention to Beth as well.
Beth, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so every time she's been on, I think she's just been absolute quality content. I think the little bit of wars between Warminster and Bassett. Earlier in the season were fantastic. So.
Literally, sorry, that was really weird because as soon as Rich said Beth liked one of my tweets. I was like, oh, that's a bit weird.
I'm going to listen to the panel and quite rightly agree that joint winners Grace and Michelle can be this year's FRI guest panelists of the season.
I think what we should do, Fife, is do like Eurovision, and like, because we've got 5 other people on the panel, and you should have another one just with them on the panel as well, and then say these are the ones that got through this time. You guys pick yours, and then we have an ultimate winner.
Okay.
Just because we're gonna struggle.
Just because we produce these things live as we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I fucked up on the first one, so it's gonna be a long night.
Well,
one down, lads. Need to go.
One down. Now we'll go in reverse order for this one. So, Rich, you get to go first, and Woody knows the assignment for this one. As we go to quite straightforward opposition fan of the year. Now, obviously, we are eternally grateful. We have had a number of fans join us over the course of the season. We've had regulars, everyone's favourite Closet Swindon fan, Liam's been on who knows how many times. Our first ever guest continues to appear in Sai. He's made 2 or 3 appearances this year. And we've also had many a Fool's debut, including most recently in the playoff fixtures. We had 3 come on in one show. So, Rich, of all of the opposition fans that we've had this season, who would you like to put forward for opposition fan of the year?
I mean, Woody's already mentioned him, and I thought he was just absolutely full of beans when he came on, and he was the most like entertaining and exciting personally for me. I'm going to say Matt Farley from Stevenage podcast. I think he was brilliant.
Ben?
Yeah, you have to can't look further than Matt Farley. His video is the only thing that I've bookmarked of him actually celebrating a victory against Swindon. It's the only thing I've ever liked that's been against us. I think it's brilliant. The bloke's infectious. His whole persona is brilliant. He's such a positive, fun guy to be around. And, you know, when he talks as well, you listen, you want to listen because he's going to have you in stitches. He's a wonderful bloke, nice bloke, and I wish him all the best, and Stevenage all the best. And I'm saying that despite their manager, who is a twat. I actually want Stevenage to do well because of Matt. So I actually like him more than I hate Steve Evans. Now, that's some feat. So well done, Matt. Congratulations.
Evening, Jake, who was one of those aforementioned supporters who says Liam deserves a nomination for his Blackpool disaster alone. One of the most iconic moments this season on FRI, I'm sure.
I remember that.
Nick,
what did he say?
Everyone dreams of.
Dreaming of black. Yeah.
Dreaming of black. Nick, who would you like to put forward for opposition fan of the year?
I'm going to go slightly against the grain, and okay. I can't vote for Matt. Now, I'm not really a miserable fucker, but he is far, far, far too happy, too happy clappy, too smiley, too laughing, and I can't cope with it. So sorry, Matt, but it is just too much, and especially supporting a team like Stevenage with the fat man, the slug in charge. I mean, how you do it, I do not know. So sorry, folks. But I'm going to go with Char because I think she's an absolute diamond, does a load of stuff, podcasts. I think she's involved in lots of different things. And I think she's an absolutely top girl. So I'm going with Char.
Great nomination. Arch makes a great one here, saying Matt, hands down, absolute top bloke. Also, like the Leyton Orient fan, I will pass on your message to Julian. He was superb.
I was on their podcast as well with him, and he's top guy, top bloke.
So Woody, we've got 2 votes for Matt and 1 for Shah. Are you going to throw someone else in the mix, or are we giving it to Matt as you kind of suggested you might?
Yeah. Well, I was rushing and panicking when I said Matt. I'm actually struggling to find one that I haven't liked, to be totally honest. I think when I'm trying to think who I don't like, it's harder. I mean, actually thinking back to the episode that I hosted with Julian from Leyton Orient, it was a great episode.
He
was brilliant. And even like the Mansfield lads after the
that was hilarious.
They were brilliant as well. They were a great laugh. But Yeah, so I was going to throw in Julian before I saw Mark comment it as well, because obviously Matt is, I kind of agree with Nick a bit. As much as he's infectious, he's probably a little bit mildly annoying that he's so infectious. I mean,
you imagine if they're having a bit of a poor season, you can migrate a bit like I do.
But I think that's also jealousy from all of us, because we just wish we were that happy as football fans. So yeah, I'm going to chuck Julian in from Leighton Orient. Shah would have got mentioned as well, but Nick's jumped in there. Obviously, all the stuff that Shah does out of podcasting, like Her Game 2, Ambassador, and things like that, is brilliant. But I think just in terms of when they've been on our pod and delivered a really good opposition fan view, it'll be Julian from Leighton Orient for me.
No, completely agree. Thinking of everyone that's been on and all the comments that we've had, again, so grateful to everyone who takes the time out. Even, some of the ones I haven't mentioned, I thought Hannah was superb when she's been on a couple of times as well. Really, really great to listen to. As well,
Hannah nearly convinced me to go to the final.
I know.
That's how unfair.
Hannah from Surrey.
Hannah from Surrey.
I would love to give the award to Shah, because she's also been very supportive of us outside of our episodes. She shares a lot of what we do, and she's very complimentary. Yeah. But I struggle not to give it to Matt this year, because every time he's on, I just get various comments from people that have watched just telling me how nice it is to have someone like Matt come on and talk about their club. So
what we need to do, Fifey, is we need to see which guests gave us the most views, and then just give it to them.
that's how we
give
do
it to them in a really brown envelope style way. We'll just give it to whoever gave us the most views.
Well, it's all good things to consider for next season, isn't it? But I can't go and do the research now. I'm going to give Opposition Fan of the Year to Matt Farley for this year. Well done, Matt. I'm sure you'll be watching and delighted with your award.
Well done, Matt. We'll tag you later, mate.
Oh, yes, all the winners will be getting told that they've won. They get no prizes. It's purely for the glory of being spoken about on our highly acclaimed podcast.
I'll draw up some certificates, Fifey. Let's make them feel good.
Oh, good lad.
I'll get Sarah to get some colouring crayons out.
I knew it was coming.
I'll send her the black and white paint by numbers versions, Ben.
Next one. We have been very fortunate this year to not only cover Swindon Town women and other football in the local area, but we've had a few episodes. If you think right back to pre-season, we've had the likes of Jamie Sendles-White, Cian Harries came on, Danny Wilson, Gerald Eiffel, Rhys Evans. Who wins special guest of the season? Not forgetting, of course, Fabrizio as well. Ben, I will let you put forward. Who would you like to nominate for this award?
Do you know what? I think we interviewed this guy at the start of the season, and it went off a lot better than I thought it would. And it's someone who's been rather unlucky this season with injury. It's someone who came into the club this year with a point to prove, and it's not quite worked out for him. So I thought wherever he goes next, I wish him all the success in the world. And that's Cian Harries, because he was a lovely man. His stories was hilarious, and he told us probably a little bit more than we were expecting, especially the pubic inspections and the in the showers. He was great entertainment. I loved him personally, and I think he's the one that made me laugh the most. So, Cian Harries.
Lovely. Let's ask Woody next.
That's quite a difficult one. I did like the Danny Wilson episode. I wasn't on it, but I did like the Danny Wilson episode. Rich, you did that, didn't you? You did. Yeah, I'll go with the Danny Wilson episode.
Okay, lovely. Next, we'll go to Rich.
Yeah, this is a difficult one for me because
basically you hosted all of them.
Yeah. The fact that I got interviewed to my two people that obviously I look up to quite a lot in coaching, managing, and obviously just having the nostalgia from watching them when I was a kid. and to obviously have been given that opportunity to do that was obviously incredible. For me, though,
You're welcome.
Yeah, no. So thanks, a massive thanks to you there, Fifey. But I think, it's a tough one. I think I felt I felt a connection obviously with both Wilson and Picaretta, but I think Picaretta more, just because I think he was a lot more. Not that Danny wasn't, but I was so engrossed in what Picaretta was saying. So I have to go with Fabrizio Picaretta on that one. Just scraping it over Danny.
And Nick?
Yes, like you say, it's a really difficult one. And I think you all knew my views on who I wanted as coach is Fabrizio. But I'm actually going to go for Danny Wilson. I thought he was absolute top bloke.
Yeah.
And I haven't finished it yet. I'm currently still reading his book. And the way he was treated by Sheffield Wednesday and Bristol City, and he still comes across as a real nice bloke, not bitter, and they both treated him appallingly. So he was very interesting, give us a good insight into his career from playing wise and from managing, and say he's just an absolute gent, really top bloke, and 100% Danny for me.
Woody, remind me, who did you put forward?
Danny.
You did Danny as well. I was thinking about this one as to which one I really enjoyed listening to, and for similar reasons to what Ben gave, I actually enjoyed the very first one that I mentioned with Jamie Sanders-White in pre-season and what players go through. But given the nominations put forward by tonight's panel and the reasons for so, it's only right that the majority get it. So we will be awarding special guest of the season to Danny Wilson. I'm sure that certificate will take pride of place in his
trophies.
3 awards down already, and here's where things get interesting, boys, because we start to really do what we do best, and that's talk about ourselves. As we give probably the most sought-after award of the night out next. Best moan stroke rant of the season. If ever there was anything we like to do, it is moan and rant. I've probably been more guilty than most this year of some of the stuff I've said and how angry I've got.
I was going to say, I think I've got one already.
Okay, this time I'm going to let Nick start. Can you, a memorable moan or rant of the season?
Well, there's not a specific one I can quote you, but really through the whole season, it's any rant by Craig, because once he gets started, he is just hilarious, and I don't think he realizes, because it's release him and off he goes. He thinks he's driving his train. He is absolutely comedy classic. So it's got to be you could probably remember them better than me, but yeah, anything by Craig. He's
well, when I was
top bloke.
I wanted to nominate Craig for this, and one that, there was one a couple of weeks ago off camera, which was just before we went live, which was really funny. But one that sticks out was about 5-6 weeks ago, just before the end of the season, and Rich was making a point, and Craig was just like completely shot him down, interrupted him, and went on a 10-minute rant. I can't remember the subject matter, but Craig for me is inspirational when it comes to ranting this season. Let's go with Rich next. Who would you like to put forward for rant or moan of the season?
I think it has to be you and wasn't it you and Ben had one during the Sutton watch along?
Yeah. About Sol Bryn.
That was it. Yeah. I know you definitely went on a rant on that Sutton watch along. So yeah, I'd say probably that one. That one was quite funny.
I'm seeing the comments coming through already. We've got Jojo saying Craig, just simply Craig with exclamation marks. Christian, Warren and Ned win this one with their I can't do this anymore tantrum 2 weeks ago. Mike Dixon saying got to go to Fifey for that one time he disagreed with Ben.
One
time.
Christian's gone in again, Fifey for his tiff with Ben. And then Mark just saying Craig the Moan Arnold.
Yeah.
Woody, who would you like to put forward for it?
Well, I was similar to yourself. It's difficult to pick out a single run. If we had the best ranter of the season, if that was the verb.
Yeah, well, we could call it ranter of the season.
The best ranter is definitely Craig, for both his on-field and off-field antics. But yeah, the one. It must be the same one Rich is thinking about, but the one that was on the watch along, then it carried on into the WhatsApp, and then it carried on into the show one. Afterwards. It was just like it was a rant that went on for a whole fucking week. And just on, I think it was a Friday night episode, and we had just all forgotten about it. Ben then reminds Fifey, and then there he goes. Put a 50p in the 5 meter and 5 meters away.
Yeah, because I remember it was the game that we were 1-0 up, and then we lost it within the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, last 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that's only of about 6 games, Rich.
True. But
The
I
thing
knew
is-
on a watch along.
I do remember the Sutton one quite vividly because of the Solbrin incident. But if it was a me and Ben one, and I know it's not as obvious to those watching or listening, but I thought mine and Ben's post Stevenage away was even better, where I was just stood outside the ground after we lost, getting really angry with Ben, who wasn't even there.
I think that was on Lower League Look, wasn't it? That we had.
We started straight after the game. I was stood outside the ground, and then Lower League Look was on when I got home, I think, and we carried on.
Yeah. They dedicated the first hour to our little barbies, didn't they? The Lower League Looks.
Yes, Mike. The one that the guys are referring to was for the foul on the keeper. That wasn't a foul. He was just a foul. But he was just fucking. He was just fucking weak and didn't do his job.
Absolutely,
still a foul though.
Ben, who would you like to put forward for rant or moan of the season?
I would obviously Fifey sticks out for individual ones a lot because, but you can't pinpoint. You could have gone for Stevenage, you could go for Sutton, you could go for most weeks when me and you disagree because we're both stubborn farts and we won't back down, and then we both go over the top just to annoy each other. But I think just for ranting, because we're just argumentative. For ranting, it's Craig. It has to be Craig because when he gets on his soapbox, he forgets where he is.
Yeah.
I can see himself just yelling in the front of his train, just going, rah, rah, rah.
It gets that point where he goes, sorry, Fifey, I realise I'm ranting.
But then carries on. And then off he goes again.
Yeah. And he just goes for this like therapy session where he just offloads. And they're wonderful offloads. Yeah, he articulates his offloads quite well. But they're fantastic and worth the viewing alone. So my vote is for Craig Arnold for numerous occasions.
Well, it gives me a great pleasure.
The Sandro Di Michele is the one that stands out for me.
Yes, the Sandro rant was sensational. It gives me great pleasure because if my memory serves me right, I won this award last year for my post Leighton Orient rant when I was on the walk home.
Yeah,
and I just went mad. So it gives me great pleasure and delight to hand this particular baton over to Craig for best moan stroke rant of the season. Well done, Craig. You've done well, lad.
Happy holidays.
Next, it's up to you guys how you interpret this one. It can be either good or spectacularly bad. Fool's quote of the season.
Oh dear.
I'm quite happy to go first if you guys want a little bit of time to think, because I know exactly which quote I'm going for. It's a 2-part quote. And it's when, after we signed Luke Jeffcott, and Ben said, we've got someone who's going to score 20 to 30 goals, best striker in the league, and then made exactly the same claim after we signed Charlie Austin.
Of
We've got the
course.
best striker in the league. He'll score 20 goals from January. Sensational quotemanship from Ben. Absolutely spectacularly bullshit, but sensational quotes.
Hey, give
Nonetheless.
the chances to score goals.
Let's go with Rich. Any real out there quotes that you can think of from anybody that you'd like to put forward for this award?
The only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Is this going to be the Sponsored by Ben award?
No, unfortunately, and I hate to even nominate myself for even this one, but I can't actually remember what I said. But
Self-nomination.
I remember Craig putting it out all on TikTok and Instagram and all that. It was, what was the fucking quote?
While you remember, Mike's just said, was Ned's Ryan Giggs comment this season? Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah.
The one I'm going to pick is not the Ryan Giggs comment.
No.
Oh, no,
Don't go there.
I've got one.
Don't go
Go on,
there.
then, Rich.
The Fraser Digby one.
No, don't.
Rich is going for Ned's Fraser Digby comment. Okay, let's just leave that one there. Ben, what are you going for?
Fraser Digby, we'll leave that there because that's
Okay.
the biggest draw-dropping one that yet. Ned's done many quotes. Like
Ned
that,
loves a quote, doesn't he?
out of nowhere.
Comes on, does a
Something
soundbite, disappears.
Scandalous. And the people, watchers and listeners, we are not going to repeat what he said because
You have to go
it would
find
get
it.
sued. So we're not going to repeat what he said. But Fraser Digby.
Nick?
It's not so much of a quote, but a misnaming of somebody, and it's got to be Ben for Morphy Richards.
Morphy Richards. Superb, yeah.
Yeah, the way that came out, and then Ben just carried on as though he hadn't said anything untoward and just carried on chatting away. And I can remember saying, well, that's a fucking washing machine. So, yeah, it's got to be Morphy Richards. And then I think Ben said, oh, I used to work for Curry's.
He did. And then we started posting pictures of Hepburn Murphy, but with Morphy Richards on his shirt.
Yeah, that's classic. That was an absolute classic.
I still
I'm not
don't
very
get
good
that
at
to
names.
this day.
Woody, what would you like to go for?
Because I'm going to give you a decision to make, Fifey, and I had the Fraser Digby comment, and I also had the Morphy Richards comment. So I'm going to go with the Morphy Richards, which I think makes it 2-2, which means you've got a decision to make.
So, the Digby one was spectacular in its unbelievable and absolutely come out of nowhere. It just came out of nowhere.
Watching back.
Fifey, do you know what it was about that? Is the fact that he completely dropped it in right at the end of his sentence.
For no reason.
Nobody would have known.
For no reason whatsoever that came out. I am, however, because I feel that Ben himself has managed to get 3 out of 5 nominations, I am going to give it to Ben for the Morphy Richards, for the Morphy Richards quote. So well done, Ben. You've won yourself a little Fools Rush In award. For wrongly, I mean, to be fair, if we were giving you it for just wrongly naming Swindon players, we could have gone for Ian Dollo. We could have gone for McCretion. We could have gone for just about any player in the squad.
Any of George's 450 names that Ben's given him.
But you get it strictly for calling Hepburn Murphy Russian Morphy Richards. Well done, Ben.
Fifey, just to go back to the quote, I don't even know if I even want to say this back now because it was a really random one.
Go on.
And then Craig posted this on Instagram. He says, best out of context quote from last night's pod came from Rich. As long as it goes in my mouth, I'm happy.
I remember that as well.
Yeah.
That was a good one. See, that was better than Morphy Richards, to be fair.
Oh, dear me. Dear me. Oh, superb. Well, many other good quotes didn't even get a mention. But we move swiftly on, and we are ever the professionals, as you guys know, and we stick firmly to our topic in hand. And when we're not talking football, we are talking food. So the next award goes to Best Food Moment of the Season, sponsored by Basmati Rice and Ketchup.
Oh,
Um,
Well, if it's not that, then I don't know why we're here, boys.
Ben, what's your best food moment of the season?
Nick's Pizza from Wimbledon.
Nick's
I'm
Pizza
about-
has to get a
Oh,
nomination.
Nick's pathetic excuse of a pizza from Wimbledon after he's just saying, like, I'll just have that. After they wouldn't let him eat the stone
After they
cold
would let him eat the
chicken
undercooked hot dog.
Oh, I've got one.
You're coming in a minute, Rich. Don't
pie.
worry.
They
Everyone gets their
refused
chance.
after they refused to give him salmonella or any sort of food poisoning. They gave him the worst ever pizza roll or whatever that was.
Can we
Yeah,
can we
I'll be bringing
partner that
sandwiches for you.
nomination? Can we partner that nomination with Mark getting something like 10 drinks for a fiver?
Oh,
Just a
Yeah.
joint effort.
yeah, that was my one. Mark's Piegate.
Mark's Piegate. Mike's gone straight in the chat. Food award is Nick's Pizza for him. Nick, what would you like to put forward for food award of the season?
Well, I can't put the pizza forward because I couldn't even finish it because it was that bad and I was bloody starving. I've gone on a good food award, not a bad food award. And
Okay.
it's the only good thing that I can think of that there is in Bradford, and that's GDKs.
Yes,
Uh,
GDKs.
There's nothing else good about Bradford, and that was the defining part of the day, apart from our last-minute penalty. So that's my award.
Okay, so we've got Nick's Pizza at Wimbledon. We've got GDKs generally. Woody, what are you putting forward for food moment of the season?
I've got a couple, but I can't pin exactly when they were. Obviously, the basmati rice and ketchup, which seemed to have erupted virally over the internet, was a strange one. Then there's
still that. Do you know what? The Low Strangers guys still aren't over it.
No, and then there's
No.
and then there's there was one episode, and I think it was when we were comparing British foods with the coronation.
Oh yeah, we put the little graphic up.
And didn't we have a guest on? And they were waiting 25 minutes before they actually came on because we were busy debating that.
Yeah.
So I think as
Gary,
the season...
wasn't it?
Sorry?
Wasn't it Gary that was waiting 25 minutes?
Oh,
Yeah,
was it Gary?
yeah, no, it was Gary, yeah.
It was Gary. It was Gary. And I don't think we've seen him since. But I think the food moment for me has to be is actually not on the pod, but it's to do with the pod, was when we were in hospitality. And the amount of times, because it was me and Georgia who didn't have the fucking lamb shank.
Lamb shank.
But the amount of times that around the table I was sat there and went, everybody went, "Ooh, that was a nice bit of lamb shank, wasn't it?" And then you went on about it for about 20 minutes on the pod afterwards as well. And it's like,
it was a really nice
a lovely
lamb
bit of lamb
Oh, do you
shank.
know what? Joe's reminded me of a great one. Can we just throw in the great quote of the slag of bread as well? Superb moment. Rich, any other food moments you'd like to throw in?
Just trying to think. Yeah, I'd have to go with the basmati rice and ketchup, to be honest with you. I can't think of any others.
I do recall another sort of 15, 20-minute intro question where we were debating the legitimacies of cream egg over...
yes.
Over mini eggs.
Mini eggs and cream eggs. Obviously, unless you're mental, it's mini eggs.
The rant about the whole bloody jam and cream on the scone, and
That's a justified rant because you've got
It's
to.
just the same. You just turn it upside down.
Jam on top.
It makes no sense why that's an argument at all. It's just stupid people.
Bring that up with
It's only an argument if you live in Devon or Cornwall. The rest of us don't give a shit.
Oh dear me. Some great moments. I think. Oh, here we go again. Shah's gone in, gone mini eggs always. Then you got Nick saying cream egg all day.
Here we go.
We're kicking off again.
Yeah, but the cream eggs, do they even do them in America?
Get some shipped over.
Yeah, Nick gets some special delivery.
I'm gonna have to. I have no choice, really, do I? But I have to give this award to basmati rice and ketchup. Just as Mike has dug out the old picture and tagged us and Ben in on Twitter of the Morphy Richards picture.
I've
put it back out on
got a
Twitter.
beer map with that on. Thank you very much, Nick. I'll remember that forever.
So well done to Ben on your essentially your second award of the night for no reason known to the rest of civilization, eating basmati rice and ketchup.
It's really look. Kieran agrees with me. It is really nice.
That is not. No one ever uses Kieran as a case for the defence.
And you put it in, butter some bread up, put it in bread, fold it over. It's yummy.
Oh, dear.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that potentially Ned could be picking up his second award, or second nomination, I should say, as a similar one to the previous Foot in Mouth Award. Does anyone want to take first dibs on the Foot in Mouth Award? I have one prepared if no one else does.
I'm just going to go Ned for Ryan Giggs, Ned for Fraser Digby.
I'm going to throw in Fools in general, but specifically Craig, for when we dared to play Jackbox live for an hour, and just me being head in hands for a good half hour of that.
Was that this season? Was it?
That was this year, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nick on the previous comment has put "lock him up." No one eats that crap. We've got Tim here. Hi everyone, happy bank holidays. Great to see you found an entertaining episode I remember to tune in for. I'm surprised at the start to hear Nick is living in Oxford United territory like me.
Afraid so, Tim, up in North Oxfordshire, so it's not always good, but you know.
So I'm going to put forward Craig via Jackbox. Ben has put forward Ned for 2 misdemeanors. Woody, anyone you'd like to throw in the mix for?
Now I know that Jackbox was this series 100%.
Just the whole team.
Yeah, the whole team. Yeah. Craig with his Jackbox antics gets it all day.
You're going to have to get fans of the show. You're just going to have to dig it up.
You're just going to have to dig it up.
The guys are trying to convince me to do another Jackbox episode over the summer, and I don't want to. If we run out of content, we might have to, but I really don't want to because I want to carry on doing this next season. Vote
yes if you would like us to do a Jackbox episode again. Those are in the chat. And I'm looking at the chat, and I reckon I've got a few there that are going to definitely say yes. So,
I'm looking at the chat, and nobody is saying yes.
We can have guests that can come join our Jackbox.
Oh, Jesus.
No. We don't need anyone else seeing what goes
on
behind.
If he says if he gets 3 yeses.
If he doesn't say if he gets 3 yeses.
We do a Jackbot live.
Oh, there's 2 of them.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Nick, get us back on track. Any nominations for the Foot in Mouth Award?
Yeah, I'll go on a different tack. I think I'm with you on.
Char, you wouldn't like us anymore if we do another Jackbox episode.
Yeah, I'll go slightly different, and I include myself in this. And it's anyone who said Town would finish in the top 3, because we were just so wrong. So anybody who predicted that obviously don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
shouldn't be on a podcast. Shouldn't be following football because you've got no idea.
And Rich, anyone for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw Nick in on this one as well. A bit different, but and he didn't really. I mean, he did say it live on a pod, but also he also had it. He also had it imprinted on a flag as well. So I'm gonna go with Nick on that one for that reason.
Are you referring to this moment here?
I am.
I love some of the graphics readily available. Some of our favourites, like this one, is readily available for any use during the course of the season. But yes, of course, Rich is referring to the "Who the fuck is Alice" flag that was unveiled, courtesy of Nick.
Send that to her, by the way.
She's got it.
She's got it. Yeah, got it.
This is tough. This is really tough. Only because Woody agreed with me, I'm going to give it to Craig via Jackbox for the shenanigans that went on that evening. All the other nominees put forward, very, very, very well deserving. But I'm also trying to stop people going back and finding Ned's misdemeanors. So I'm going to give it to the Jackbox episode.
So go find Craig's instead, which is actually called Jackbox episode.
Yeah.
Find the episode. It's called Jackbox. You will split your sides. Honestly, it's hilarious.
Oh dear.
Probably not as bad as what happened in the after show Jackbox, to be fair.
No, the after show Jackbox was worse.
That's X-rated.
Now, I don't know if anyone's going to remember any for this, so we may be diverting away, but we've got the BS tweet of the season. Any spring to mind? It can be one of ours or one that we've read. Generally, for me, it would be anything that Ben's typed in the last 9 months, but...
I mean, there's too many of his to choose from. I couldn't even think of the top of my head.
BS tweet of the season. I mean, I don't know whether it classes as BS or not, but maybe Swindon Town themselves announcing the signing of Charlie Austin 4 days after everyone else did would perhaps be a consideration here. Any spring to mind for anybody?
I think for me, it is related because when they tweeted out looking for volunteer social media people.
Yes.
Now it's not the tweet in the article itself; it's one of the replies that then came out to say, and I think they deleted it afterwards. But one of the replies was just like, "We're just trying to give people opportunities."
Yes.
And it was that for me, that was gold because I was just like sat there going, "You're a business and you're trying to get your main channel of media as a volunteer role," and it was So for me, it's that's my nomination.
Lovely. Anyone else?
I guess the other one along those lines is asking for volunteers to drive all the way to the training ground to deliver food for the players. Like, come on, you don't even do that at grassroots football, do you? It's like, yeah, anything the club sent out because it's been
basically any tweet from the official club channel this year.
Yeah.
Rich, Ben, anything for you guys?
I have just put one in our private chat, but I can't say it.
No, we're not saying that. We are not saying that.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I thought about saying that, and then no,
we are not saying that. Stop it.
We can't mention that.
People just need to keep up with their promises. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Stop it.
Inconsistencies.
Yeah,
I think you need to move on, Fifey.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I'm going to agree with.
We're just going to, just so I can move on, I'm going to award bullshit tweet of the season to Swindon Town in general.
Oh yeah, but that's a thinly veiled dig to Ben for not having his nomination.
No, Ben can quite happily not have his nomination. We're moving on. The Shameless Self-Promotion with Photos award is next. Anyone jump to mind? And I'm sure, I just need to double check, there was an official sponsor awarded to this. Was this not the Katie Price Award for Shameless Self-Promotion?
Yeah.
I need to just double check that. Anyone you feel has been purposely promoting themselves via the medium of selfies this year? Anyone want to go?
Well, I would say the whole of our sponsoring the game day because there were photos going out left, right, and centre. So surely we've got to be guilty of that.
I'm sort of nominating myself on this one, but it was absolutely hilarious, and the caption was even better. It was sent to our WhatsApp group. It was the one with me and Clem, and then I think Kieran put Rich trying to convince Clem to take Sandro's job or something like that.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of that,
I've worked out Rich's tactic tonight. He's going to try and nominate himself
Yeah.
He's basically doing a selling pitch for himself to Fifey.
Yeah.
By the way, how Rich escaped the quote of the season by asking Rob Angus, "Why are we shit?" Not getting a nomination.
It can't be quote of the season when a lot of people have said it, though.
So, Mike has stolen my thunder here. So he has put in the chat, Nick for getting a selfie with pretty much every female fan. But the one in particular I want to mention is Mansfield away. That was incredible by Nick, to the point that he started getting his own chant from us when he approached an unsuspecting young lady, and the likes of me and Rich stood about 10 rows back going, "He's flirting again. He's flirting again." So yes, I'm definitely putting. I was initially going to put myself forward for just get as many pictures of me as possible at Swindon games, but yes, I'm definitely putting Nick forward now. Superb. Arch saying not a selfie, but Rich asleep on the train. Lovely. Ben, anyone you'd like to put forward?
There's two. There's Rich dancing, but. Yeah, Rich dancing is amazing, but I do think the winner has to be Nick. I'm just thinking about the times. He's got the Friends of Fools that he's all flirts with, and then he's got the lady from.
How many different pictures of Joe and Claire does Nick need?
Yeah,
and Danny as well.
And Danny, and also
just can't have too many.
On our sponsors' day, that lady there who was taking us
down. Yeah,
he was chatting to her as well.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Quite a few fans.
Fucking Nick's won this. I'm not even deliberating.
Obviously, he's a smooth criminal. Oh.
Nick, take that. We're not deliberating any further. You win the shameless self-promotion with Photos Award. Well done. Well done. There we go. The comments flooding in for Nick now. Housewife's choice. Arch saying smooth Nick. Thank you to Shah, who's retweeted tonight's live stream on Twitter, saying this is absolute quality. Come and support these guys. Such a laugh. Appreciate that. And thank you to Damien as well, who's agreed to be part of our LCFC feature. I will send you the details after the show. And then we've also got Tim here as well, saying, why not roll back the years with young women? Indeed. Indeed.
Why not indeed, yeah.
Okay, before we head into some sort of proper Swindon Town related awards, I've added in the Special Recognition Award. We have a regular cast of, are we 12, I think, all in? 12 of us. But it really is. It's the guys and girls who watch and listen and get involved on social media that make Fools what it is. We really couldn't do what we do without you, that's for sure. So I'd like to offer up a special recognition award. I know, Ben, you said earlier John deserves a nomination for his contributions with quizzes, invaluable. Much the same, I think, Woody, you'd agree with Mike. Mike works incredibly hard for FRI, considering we've never asked him to do anything for FRI. But there are many others who are deserving. I would throw Joe in that mix, Claire in that mix, as we said earlier. Nick, I will come to you first. Anyone else you think should be up for the Special Recognition Award for this season?
Yeah, I think John for putting quizzes out that embarrasses me because I can never answer the damn things. So, the amount of work he must put into doing that, because it's not easy, and do all your fact checking, make sure you got it right. So I'll go for John.
Which, by the way, John was the one who messaged in the last quiz confirming Lewis Ward's appearances so that Ben knew he was wrong by telling me that my quiz was wrong.
He was right. John's spot on. I thought, he played 2 games. I thought he only played 1.
Woody, anyone else you'd like to put forward for a Special Recognition Award this year?
When did we start using StreamYard?
This season.
You've stolen my one already.
I mean, Mike gets it for me just because of the extra content we get off him. I mean, everybody most of the people that watch us probably deserve something, just because.
Yeah,
Just because, well, one, because they're putting up with us talking shite for so long, and two, just like the promotion, people, the extra promotions they do. But for me, we wouldn't be doing. I don't like to use the term as well because we're not big time, but as well as
we wouldn't
were
be
if it was-
producing the quality we're
yeah,
producing.
we wouldn't be
I'm big time.
producing. We wouldn't be producing the content, maybe not the quality, but the content. If it wasn't,
No one
for-
else has acknowledged that. Sorry, Ben. You just piped out that I'm big time.
Yeah, without Liam, I know he rubs a lot of Swindon fans up the wrong way.
Oh yeah, good shout.
But for me, Mike Dixon for what he supplies to us, but without Liam giving us the recommendations over StreamYard and helping us set that up and all that kind of stuff, we wouldn't have been able to do this properly, I guess is probably the right term.
Yep. Okay. Rich?
Woody completely took my one there. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, you got, like I said, and already been mentioned, obviously, Claire for the photos that she provides, obviously, Joe with the merch, and then Mike with just the extra content on Twitter and everything like that is absolutely fantastic. And to pick out one of those three would be absolutely ridiculously difficult. But obviously, with what Woody said, that was the first thing that really came to my mind. We wouldn't be in the position where we are right now if we didn't, if it wasn't for Liam providing us with the opportunity to use StreamYard. So, I think, massively goes out to him to get us started on this.
Okay. And Ben?
Do you know what? Just a special shout out, really, to the helpers of the Friends of Fault, really. Mike, especially, for everything that he's done. Joe for her merch. And yeah, that's fantastic. And the people that contribute to the quizzes, everything. You know, I nominated John earlier. But yeah, I think a special shout out to Mike as well, because obviously he's not even asked, and he's done so much behind the scenes to promote us. So I think a big thank you and a big up to everyone that has done their bit.
Chris just said none of you voted for Fifey. I don't need the special recognition. Is absolutely, this wasn't a self-published publicizing award, that's for sure.
He doesn't do fuck all anyway.
And I don't do fuck all anyway. all the other people mentioned do all the work for me these days.
Yeah, stop creeping, Cosy. Won't get you anywhere.
I'm going to say, and it's not like me to do this, but I think we have to have dual winners here. Because do you know what? I'll be honest. I hadn't even thought of Liam when this award came out, but you made such a compelling case, Woody and Rich, that Liam and Mike, I think, deserve the award, and that's not playing down the role of the others, because I love to bits the work that John does. He loves a quiz, and he loves the fact that we do the quizzes. Can't thank the likes of Claire and Joe enough for what they've done, and hopefully we'll be happy to continue to offer as well. But yeah, for this year, I think Liam and Mike can be joint winners of the special recognition award. And I hope that they understand the appreciation we have for all they've done for us this year.
Liam's going to love having another award from us. He
will as well.
He will absolutely love it.
Joe does say thank you as well for her nomination. And Mike saying, I don't mind sharing the award. That's very generous of you, Mike. Let's
half a certificate each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, we start to kind of move towards actual a few Swindon Town related ones. I know, and we start with the really serious best stroke worst haircut of the season. There have been.
That's not his proper title.
What was the proper title? Was there a sponsor that I've missed?
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the official sponsor for this one?
I had to search up the quote. Fifey. Look, this is why you don't get awards, Fife. This is why.
What? Because I underplay your contribution. I'm very sorry, Woody. I will find it very, very.
Yeah, he definitely got a haircut on the list.
Yeah, no, I think Woody gave it a sponsor.
It was a quote from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, here we go.
The Potts
Automatic and Hygienic Electronic Hair Cutting Machine Award.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. I will leave this screen up. Does anyone want to put a nomination forward for haircut of the season? Whether that's
Harry
good
McCurdy shit.
or-
I think that's quite agreeable, to be fair.
I've got
I wouldn't say
Johnny
he was
Williams
best.
for having an upside down head.
Poor Joe.
Oh wow! So Cozzy's gone worst hair Austin.
In fairness, when it intentionally blue. Yeah,
And
when we put the blue dye in,
Joe's throwing in best is Ned's hair. He grew it. A lot of love for Ned's hair since he grew his hair in.
yeah, there's a lot of love for Ned's hair.
Yeah, McCurdy, a good shout in this award. Anyone else with standout hairstyles over the season?
I'm going for Tom Brewitt with his proper hard centre back hairstyle, like full slick back, really long, fucking Sid Nelson-esque haircut that he's
Sid
got.
Nelson.
Rich, anyone else other than Harry you want to throw into the mix?
Charlie again, I'd say. I'm trying to think of anybody else that's had a pre-shirt haircut.
Darcy.
Hey?
Ronan Darcy.
Has Darcy got a shit haircut?
No,
He's got those Alice bands and he has it.
B-Tech Luka Modric.
I'm on my own here, aren't I? I'll be quiet.
B-Tech Luka Modric.
when you get Luka Modric off Wish.
Yeah.
Nick, anyone's Barney you've not been impressed with this year?
No, I said, I don't know if you heard it earlier. I said Johnny Williams with his upside down
course,
head.
Yes.
I can't wait till you say that to Joe as well, Nick.
No, Joe can get closer to me than Johnny Williams will.
This is a difficult one, and I'm not sure who I want to give the award to. It's tough. I mean, when Charlie put the blue in, but that was just the dye. It never really did anything spectacularly bad to his hair.
It didn't stay either. He washed it straight out.
Yeah.
Don't he usually do that to some? It's usually something to do with his kids at school in different things, isn't it? 'Cause he's dyed it pink before for something to do with his kids.
It's going to have to be Harry McCurdy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're going to have to give the hair award to McCurdy.
Well, it's the only thing he'll win this season.
Well done, Harry. I'm sure he'd be
I was
delighted.
so hoping for he'd get a goal or something, but he's had a terrible time in Scotland.
He could get nominated for Incident of the Year, maybe. I don't know if that's an award, but...
Mike's saying McCurdy. Cozzy's saying that Bryn was always well-groomed.
Yeah, he was well-groomed.
Joe's suggesting my cat gets put forward for hair of the year. There we go. No, we'll give it to McCurdy. What was that?
Hairball.
Hairball of the year. Lovely. Well done, Harry. Did anyone see his outfit the other day for, I guess it was end of season night out or whatever?
Oh, yeah, terrible. Everybody else poshed up. And he's, typical McCurdy, isn't it?
The next award is the Value for Money Award. Not many players, I imagine, will be considered good value for money this year. But who do you feel has been when you consider their position? Rich?
I like the fact that I always get the tough ones first.
This is also known as the Aldi Award.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, I got to have
An Aldi fee.
Fuck's sake. The Aldi Award for Value for Money.
Are we? So hold on. So what are we talking about here? So in terms of playing, like who we paid money for, really, and played really well, basically.
Actually, for what we believe we paid for them, who was the best value for money?
Yikes. Okay, I would probably have to say, it actually kills me to say this because I still think defensively he's shite, but to have 13 assists, you'd have to give it to probably Romeo Hutton. To be fair, he's probably the only ones that we did actually pay money for, to be fair.
Okay.
But
Mike, that was what I was going to say.
yeah.
In the chat, we've got Arch saying drinks at Wimbledon with value for money. Joe saying Bryn, 600 quid a week from Swin. We've also got Mike saying value for money.
That's what I was going to say. I wasn't going to go with
watching the women's team.
Steve Watts getting sent off.
The kit man getting sent off.
The kit man getting sent off.
Value for money?
I'd say it wasn't value for money. Five Guys. Bloody hell, that's expensive, isn't it? In Northampton.
Yeah, but Ben, we're not
it's the same everywhere.
Value for money here. We're talking about value for money.
I know, but we don't know value. If we're talking value for money, if I'm going to just be a bit dull,
let me think.
Probably I'm gonna have to agree with Rich and say Romeo Hutton. If you take his 13 assists, we probably go down. So yeah, Romeo Hutton, 13 assists, and we probably don't pay that much for him.
If we're basing it on that value for money, I'm putting forward Scott Lindsay because if it weren't for his points contribution, we would have been down. Nick?
Oh, fight. It was going so well.
I mean, it's not wrong.
He is.
This is a nice show. We'll leave it.
I wasn't going player wise on this, but if we're talking players, it's got to be Minton because he didn't cost us anything, and he had a real good. Well, the number of games he played. No, he was spot on. And I know it's something that it's a bit of a Marmite one with the food outlets at the club, but I would say I think the pasties are actually good value for money.
Yeah,
pasties aren't bad. Chicken and bacon one. Chicken bacon.
No, steak.
Oh, I've not had the steak one.
Steak pasties, value for money.
Mike Fresh from winning his award has said value for money, the Fools Rush In output. Yes, it's worth every penny that everyone pays to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm sure.
Nothing.
it's valued at nothing and worth every penny of it. Have I asked everyone? I've lost track of where I am.
I was gonna say
Woody was gonna say the women's team.
Yeah, I was going to say one more is the kebab before Bradford, 2 for £6 or something.
Oh yes, GDK's did 2 for 1 kebabs. That's my best value.
I wish you hadn't said that because now I want to give GDK's an award.
But
the 2 for £6 on a Tuesday.
2 for 1.
You're wrong about
that. I'm changing mine.
Christian is fighting for Austin. Put 2K on the gate at average of £15 a ticket. That's 30K. Tim saying your stadium you bought is value for money versus most now. Yes, owning our stadium's really helped, and got to be the shares. Says Arch. The county ground purchase is a good shout.
It is to the club because it didn't cost them any money, did it?
Yeah. No, exactly. Do you know what? I'm gonna back Mike and I'm gonna back Woody here and say that Swindon Town women were value for money. When you consider that for the small entrance fee, you've seen things like 10-0 wins, 10-1 wins, and kit men getting sent off. You can't ask for much more. So well done to Swindon Town women for being value for money this season. And until the new manager came in, I think they'd scored in every game as well. So you were guaranteed goals. So there we go. Congratulations to Swindon Town women. Okay, you get your choice here for the criminally under or overused. And obviously, hang on. This is the criminally over or underused award sponsored by the Mixed Herbs. Okay.
This is where no matter who we nominate, Adeloy's going to win.
Well, if you want to put Adeloy forward, Ben, I'm perfectly happy for that. Yep. Criminally underused. Nick?
Any other answer is wrong.
Minton should have played a
nice.
lot more games when we were struggling for centre halves and playing left backs out of position. If Minton had come in there, left Blake Tracy at left back, would have been a far better balanced side.
100%.
Woody?
I said Minton as well.
Yeah.
I'd also say to a certain extent Austin, because he wasn't used properly. But over the whole season, Minton.
Joe is saying Morgan. Rich?
Sorry, Joe, I got to completely disagree on that one. Sorry. Who did I say? Oh, yeah, Lavinia.
Lavinia, yeah, nice.
Good shout, actually.
Ben, do you want a proper nomination?
Well, it's a tough call, actually. Austin, Lavinia, or Minturn. I am going to say, I'm actually going to agree with Nick on this and say Minturn, because he was so solid in every game that he's played. I think he should have been trusted a little bit more. And we were struggling for a left-footed left back.
Hold on. Can we just show some appreciation for Mike here? It was gone criminally underused. STFC media platforms can share STFC news.
Very good.
Well, Mike's loving this. He loves these sorts of episodes. It's like carnage.
Do you know what? I'm gonna stick with Minton, but I'm afraid Mike's hit a winner.
Mike's hit me.
Mike, you've won the hearts of the fan base, but given he won the most amount of nominations, I will give Harrison Minton the criminally underused award, sponsored by the Mixed Herbs. Next up, we have, and I'll get this one right. It's prepared, Woody. We have the Surprise Package Award, sponsored by the Christmas Cracker Screwdrivers. Who was your surprise package this season? Let's start with Woody. Oh, by the way, Ricky Aguiar's a great shout there as well for the previous award.
Surprise package. I could split it, actually. I could say with the women's, probably Annie Colston, because the mass development over pre-season and how well she's done this season. She was always a good player, but considering it was quite a difficult season for her last year. But in the men's, I'm going to say McEachran, just because the amount of time he had been out of the game as well. I didn't expect him to have the impact that he did have.
Okay. Rich?
I'm going to say Darcy and Brewitt for how shit they were.
Fair enough.
Nick?
I've gone with Wakelin on the basis I didn't expect him to play so many games. He come from is it Leicester Academy or under 23s, whatever it was. And I don't think anybody expected him to play the number of games he played and the goals and the assists that he had. So for me, that was a very pleasant surprise.
Oh, I forgot to add Tyree Shade to my sorry, Shade, Darcy and Brewitt.
We've had Cosy say surprise package, Jodie Morris, Mike saying Emerson Evans. I don't know who Sound Trauma is.
Emerson Evans. Oh, yeah,
I don't know who Sound Trauma is, but they said Morris and Brand, so bad. Joe saying Jeffers, ... shit.
Yeah.
What else we've got? Surprise package from Tim is, wow, he's gone in as Tim for the mistreatment for those in charge of dismissing the women's team management. Gone straight in there. Christian not agreeing with Nick's nomination, saying Wakelin ? He was shite. Ben?
I am going to go for, I'm going to say right, McEachran.
Yay!
As in, because the lad hadn't played like any first team football for like a year and a bit, and he walked in and he was our best player. Really doesn't say a lot for our team, really, when a player who should be nowhere near fitness is probably the fittest on the field and having the most impact. But I think it was his Sutton game, his debut, and he just stood out as the best player. So him, I think he's going to have a real good season next season after a full pre-season under his belt and treated right. I think we've got a good player.
Well, with 2 nominations, congratulations to the man who won a Man of the Match award on our Sponsors Day as well. George McEachran winning this prize package award, sponsored by the Christmas Cracker Screwdrivers. As next, we go to the shithouse moment of the season, sponsored or otherwise known as the Anthony Grant Award. Shithouse moment. Now, Woody, are you going to say the one that I'd expect you to say, which is the one that Kieran wanted me to put forward as his nomination from the last game of the season?
I don't know what that one is.
Okay, so before we go anywhere then, Kieran specifically asked me to put forward Charlie Austin's kid from the last game of the season.
Oh, yes.
Walking over at the sort of walk round at the end, and it looked like going to hand his shirt over to another child. Just sort of looking at them and running off as a shithouse moment of the season. Woody, any you'd like to add?
Well, yeah, I forgot about that one. There's also Swindon absolutely shithouse in the under-16s in the town end as well.
Oh, which Micah, again, you and Micah are working telepathically here. He's just this second put the same thing.
I'm trying to think of one on the pitch, really. But we were shit at shithousing, so it's hard to pick one on the pitch.
Arch says Grant going to Crawley.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with the Charlie Austin one because now Kieran's mentioned it. That was priceless, that moment.
Okay, Ben, any shithouse moments stand out to you?
I've got a team. I'm going to give it to Crawley when we played them at home. I think the whole team managed to shithouse the town, the whole county ground, everyone, including the referee, amazingly well. Especially it's IE. Anyway, I forgot his name. The guy that ran the length of the Don Rogers, just smiling, just giving us all the 1-0s. And the lad that got given the ball and then went down like a shot in the belly, and the referee.
You sure Crawley? Don't you mean Stevenage?
No,
Crew. No, it was Crew.
Did I say Crew?
It was
No, you said Crawley.
Did I say Crawley? Sorry, my bad. Meant Crew. And they beat us. Shit
Ben's obsessed with Crawley.
I am. But yeah, no, it's just Lindsay.
Because he loves Lindsay.
I'm not sure if this classes as a shithouse moment, but it does deserve recognition in these awards somewhere, so I'll allow it as it's got 2 nominations in the chat. Soundtrauma saying Brennan knocking out the ref, and then Joe also saying Brennan taking the ref out, funny as.
He got his own back, the ref, didn't he? I remember he came back for which game was he back for? I can't remember. Might even been the Carlisle one.
Carlisle?
Yeah, it might have been Carlisle, and they beat us 2-1. Adding that amount of injury time and then they're burying it.
Rich, any shithouse moments for you?
Yeah. McCurdy destroying the referee's room by throwing a protein shake.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And Nick?
Yeah, I've got Johnny Williams at Salford giving their manager some stick in slowing the game right down near the end, and he was going off on one.
Okay. This is difficult now. I'm swaying between the protein shake and Brennan. The thing is, and Rich, Woody, this is more for you. Would a kitman getting sent off not class as a bit of a shithouse move as well?
Not really, because I don't know.
Actually, it was because didn't the actual sending off was as a result of him taking the blame for somebody else on the bench as well.
Well, no, because because I thought originally it was KP that was getting sent off because he was mouthing off to the ref, but it turns out that Steve actually called the ref. Oh no, he did call him whatever he called him. But but what it was before, the ref had his attention turned to the bench because he was trying to tell KP to shut up. And then KP just went like that and looked around, looked to the side, and then I think the only person in the ref's eyesight then was Steve. Oh yeah, true, yeah. Fair point.
Shit from KP, really.
So Christian's gone for it as well. So I'm going to award it to Brennan as his only good moment, really, in a Swindon shirt, knocking out the referee. a shithouse moment of the season. But I do feel that the Charlie Austin one deserves more attention as well. And I'm surprised that at no point again, unless I can't think what's still to come on this long list of awards, Charlie Austin's, should we call it an altercation with a supporter, hasn't got a mention yet either.
You can go home, we can have a Chinese and a couple of pints.
Arch there as well saying, got to be Brennan. Still not an option on a bet builder for knocking the ref out. Next up, we go to, let me get the DAB award for shit cell. Oh, hang on, no, wait. Why haven't I got that? Oh, yeah, no. The DAB award for shit celebration. Obviously,
one,
it has to go.
Tyree Shade.
Has to go to Tyree Shade for never landing a flip.
Yeah. Can move on from that one now.
Can we just move straight on?
Move on that one.
Well done, Tyrese. Next, we go to the Shit Postman Award. The Shit Postman Award for failing to deliver.
STS is Twitter.
The people that didn't volunteer themselves to do the lunches to go.
Nick, who failed to deliver for you this season?
Probably through no fault of his own, but I've got to say Jepcott, who we expected to score 20 goals, wasn't it, Ben?
That's what Ben was telling us.
It's got to go to him, but I'd say there's a caveat to that because I don't think it was all down to him. He just didn't get any service, but he didn't deliver at the end of the day for what he was signed for.
Ben?
Agree with Nick. I had high hopes for him. Who would have known? I was really quite quiet about him, but yeah, I think Jeff Cott come with a great reputation. Obviously, being so young and scoring all those goals propelled Plymouth to promotion, and I was thinking brilliant. And yeah, he didn't do anything. But then we didn't ever play him in a two, and the time we did play him in a two, he scored when we played the Diamond. The one time we played the Diamond, and we put 5 past Mansfield. We didn't do it again. Thank you, Scott Lindsay. But yeah, Jeff is my vote.
Woody?
Archer's already put it up. I think Rich agrees as well. Sandra Di Michele. He's the one that's failed to deliver.
Rich, are you going with STM as well?
Yeah, you got to go with Sandra on that one, I think.
Oh, well, I will back that one as well. Congratulations, Sandro. You've won the Shit Postman Award. I'm sure that will go up on the mantelpiece. Mike saying, yes, Arch got to be SDM. And Cozzy saying, Legends Lounge bar team, you're going at halftime. They don't even have pints lined up ready to go. Queue at least 20 minutes every time. There you go. We're working through quite well, guys. We might actually do this in the 120 minutes I set aside in the intro. But this is going to be one, or the next two, I think, are going to be ones that really cause some debate. Starting with best stroke worst team performance of the season. Best, I presume everyone is going to say Mansfield.
Not necessarily.
For me,
Rich?
Any game that we had under Gav Gunning, I guess, but Grimsby probably out of all of them.
Okay, nice. Ben?
I saw Grimsby. I didn't see Mansfield, so I've got to say Grimsby, but that was fun. Because it could have been 8. It really could. We hit the post and bar 3 times. It could have been so many.
Nick?
yeah, I've gone Mansfield. It was just superb all the way through.
Woody?
I didn't see Mansfield, so I'm going to have to go with Grimsby.
Having seen both, I would have to give it to Grimsby, just because as fun as Mansfield was, I think Rich and Nick will agree that I kept turning around and saying defensively we're fucking atrocious and this could end 9-8.
Yeah.
Well, considering we were playing a 3-1-6 formation against Grimsby, you'd have thought we would have been there. But yeah.
Grimsby did play their part as well by being absolutely fucking appalling.
No. I'm not having that, Ben.
I think they opened up. That's what their problem
They played
was.
football.
They
With
tried to
10
open
men.
up with 10 men. I think fair play to them.
Wimbledon's another good shout.
Arch saying
Wimbledon's
Wimbledon
good
away
shout.
was pretty epic. Worst team performance?
I'll tell you what does get a shout for best as well. Overall, in terms of determination and effort, Northampton away as well.
Northampton was really good because we dug in deep to get that win.
Yeah, because actually, that I know you've already given it to Grimsby, but the Northampton one actually gets my vote.
Well, you can do a home and an away award.
Yeah.
There you are.
Is that Lavinia goal as well for Linz when he went 2-0 up? That was
Yeah.
superb. I love that.
And we had to grind that as well. We really had to grind that result out.
Mystic Five is going to say that Rich will say Stockport away
No,
for worst.
no.
I know what he's going to say.
It's going to be Gillingham away.
Yes.
That was
That
depressing.
was the most abysmal fucking shit game I think I've ever seen in my life. 70% possession. Gillingham were down a man after 9 minutes, and we just couldn't fucking score. We couldn't hit a barn door that day.
Oh,
That
no.
was fucking dreadful.
Nick, are you in agreement?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because that's got to have been
Ben?
just tactically terrible.
Yes. Of worst performance, that or Colchester. That Colchester one really grated me.
I know.
Watching that was
We were all down at that point, weren't we? Yeah.
I'm gonna. I mean, Cosy makes a good point here.
I was going to say Rochdale.
Worst was actually the one where Austin scored 4. Was it Barrow or Carlisle? Shite defending
Rochdale.
it. That was actually Rochdale.
Rochdale.
Yeah.
Hi,
I
Joe.
was going to say Rochdale.
Joe saying worst performance of the season. Newport away. Rich threw beer on my shoes.
I think I seem to miss. I think I seem to luckily have missed the worst performances, but the ones that really drained me, the one that drained me on the radio was the Gillingham one, because that was just fucking depressing. And the Rochdale one that Cossy's on about with the 4 goals is like, that was I didn't even listen to that one, but it was just fucking depressing that we threw away such a lead against, in the nicest respect to Shah, against the side near the bottom end of the table at the time. You know, it's
and are now relegated.
And are now relegated, and we threw it away. You don't score 4 goals and still don't win the game.
I'm going to award the worst performance of the season to Gillingham, or the team that played Gillingham. However, this has made me think of another one that I should have put forward, probably more in the shithouse award than worst performance award, and it's going to, if I remember correctly, Salford winning 2-1, despite only having 1 shot on target all game. Now that is a proper shithouse move.
Yeah,
the shithouse award against a fool has to go to Ryan Edmondson.
Yes,
because Wazza called him shit.
Wazza called him
and
shit,
and then he scores.
Standard. So Grimsby get best performance of the season, and the Gillingham game gets worst performance of the season. Now, gents, it becomes a little bit more personal as we go to best and worst individual performance of the season. Did anyone play exceptionally well in any one game? Charlie Austin scoring 4 maybe gets a shout here as well. Did anyone play particularly badly in any game? Where do your nominations go? Let's start with Ben.
Best performances.
trying to think.
By the way, Jake going on my previous shout saying that game was awful, to be fair.
I think you've got Charlie Austin scoring 4 goals. I think it was against Rochdale, but no one else does that. Done that all season. I think that's any real standout.
I'm gonna throw George McEachran in there for probably best individual against Sutton. Obviously, his debut.
That was good.
That game.
On best, I would also throw Williams versus Mansfield.
He was on fire then.
That game, he was superb.
That was him that game, and Bradford at home were
Yeah,
Willow's
Bradford at
best
home.
goal.
His last goal for the club was a sweet goal.
That was a great goal. Love that goal.
Nick, any from you stand out?
Charlie.
The one I've put down is Austin scoring
Yeah.
4 goals, because you don't get that every week, do you? And that's what the game's about, is scoring goals.
Yeah,
For
strikers
me.
score 4 goals. Yeah.
Cozzy's put a nomination forward, I'm guessing, for worst individual performance, saying Hutton hitting the first man with 5 consecutive crosses, can't remember the game. Well, judging from some of your comments throughout the season, Christian, it was just about every game. Anyone else for particularly bad performances?
I've got the same for both. I've got the same player for both.
Go on.
All right, just for bants.
Go on then.
Worst individual performance, Ronan Darcy for any game, except for the game where he played right back. Where I actually thought he was a better defensive right back than fucking Hutton.
Yeah.
Just for bants, I'm going to give both awards to Ronan Darcy.
Okay.
Worst.
Any other particularly bad performances?
Any game in the first half of the season, Tyree Shade.
I knew you were going to say Shades.
Shea was particularly awful at the start of the season, to be fair.
On an equal note, I'm going to say, with the exception of the last game of the season, any time Kane stepped foot on the pitch.
And even that game, you shit.
Anything except for the last 20 minutes.
The last 20 minutes of this game.
Awful. Who's been...
Any particularly bad performances?
The whole team at Harrogate.
Joe saying, yes, Woody. Darcy was shocking.
Yeah, Darcy's shocking most of the season.
I've got
Arch
and it was
Kaji.
the games before he got injured. Probably the 2 games before he got injured, I can't remember which ones they were, was Iandolo. He was absolutely shocking.
Yeah,
just lost his form completely. So for me, it was Iandolo.
Yeah, that was shortly after the Northampton game where he was class.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So the good individual performance award quite clearly goes to Charlie Austin for 4 goals for Rochdale. And we're giving the bad individual performance. We've got a shout for Iandolo. We've got a shout for Shade. We've got Darcy in just about any other game. Ben, did you put someone forward for poor?
Didn't. I put that whole team for Harrogate.
He doesn't like to put that negativity on players, especially not if it's one of the best right or left wing backs in the league.
God.
Best performance was Reece Devine's 35 minutes.
Yeah.
What a 35 minutes.
It was good, though. It actually was.
Arch saying Reed was pants. I'm struggling to pick a worse because there'd be so many stinkers.
Stand out worse.
There was no standout worst performance of the season. I don't think it was just progressively shit. In fact, no. I'm going to put forward a late nomination here. Worst individual performance of the season, Jody Morris.
Yes, actually, fair play, Jody Morris. I'll go with that.
Anyone else happy to back a Jody Morris shout here? Again, you could pick any game, but basically his substitutions were nonsensical. His tactics were non-identical.
The most depressing pre-match interviews. I felt really like slitting my wrists after each one.
Well, because me and Ben have agreed, I'm going to give it to Jody Morris for worst individual performance.
I rated him lower than Scott Lindsay. Now that's how shit he was.
Okay. We've got one more before the 3 title awards of the evening. And the last sort of Swindon Town related award goes to worst nickname of the season.
We fucking don't even.
Now, I know what I want to put forward, but I will let you guys throw any others out there if you so wish. Has there been any really shit nicknames?
Jakey Wakey.
Jakey Wakey.
One.
Are we allowed to say that? Jakey Wakey.
Jakey
We
fucking
could
Wakey.
say if we think it's a shit nickname, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Bloody
definitely
Lone Stranger started that as well. Bad people.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
They
Was it
start,
actually? I
yeah,
thought it was
it was. Yeah.
Broadbent.
No, they talked about it on one of their pods the other week.
Oh, was it Low Strangers that started?
Yeah,
it?
it was.
Oh, yeah,
Fucking
bastards.
hell.
Yeah.
Claire
Expect
saying
better
Jakey
of you gents.
Wakey. Joe saying Jakey Wakey. Jakey Wakey
Yeah.
gets worst nickname of the season. I'm
Yeah.
sure he'd be delighted with that information. We have 3 more awards to give out. And these are serious awards that take some actual discussion and debate. And we would really love to know, for anyone who is watching along, your thoughts on this. And it starts with the Fools Player of the Season.
I thought we did this one.
No, we all sort of said who our individuals were. Morphy Richards has been nominated for worst nickname. And as is McKecker.
Preaching McCracken.
McCracken.
There you go.
McCracken.
Having the crack.
That Irish superstar, McCracken.
Yeah, the crack.
So Solbrin obviously won the official player of the season. Does anyone on tonight's panel believe he was player of the season?
No. First half he was. First half of the season he was amazing. Then his sort of confidence went a bit.
Okay.
Went a bit
Woody,
average.
who would you like to put forward for our official player of the season?
I've got to stick with what I said was my player of the season, which I think was Wakeling.
Mhm.
So,
Nick?
Yeah, I agree with Woody. I've put Wakeling just for the like I said earlier, his goals, his assists, his work rate, his commitment, never gives up, always gives 100% plus. So and the surprise package as well. So Wakeling for me.
Okay, Ben?
FBT, even though he's been shoved centre back and he's not centre back,
That's a good shame.
he did all right out of position. When he had played left back, he's not let anyone down. I think he's a little reincarnation of Jay McEverly, and I quite like him.
Ben, stop it.
What?
You keep saying such and such is like a such and such. No, stop
He
it.
is. He reminds me. You remind me of a Jay McEverly. That was my Louis Walsh voice.
Chris is saying, I saw Hepburn Murphy get tackled on loose possession so many times. Arch saying, in fairness to Sol, it's when the defence was fucked, he wasn't so good. And Mike saying, player of the season, Emily McGrogan. Rich, who would you like to put forward for player of the season?
Ben mentioned FBT. He's definitely worth a shout. I think actually going over the season, I'd probably say FBT, but I think McEachran probably deserves it. Just in terms of consistency, he was consistent pretty much every game.
So we got 2 Wakelings, a McEachran, and an FBT on tonight's panel. We've got Hepburn Murphy, Williams, FBT, Hepburn Murphy, Wakeling, all there.
Tells you there's been no standouts, has there? There's been no one that you've gone, he's been brilliant.
It's a tough one. But again, on like I have done on a couple of other ones tonight, I will go with the majority verdict of tonight's panel, which means Jacob Wakeling gets Fools Rush In's player of the season.
Shaky wakey. Well done.
And Ben, we've got a question for you here. Does Jay McEverly remind you of Andrew Flintoff, Ben? He's also
No.
shit at football.
No, he doesn't at all, because Andrew Flintoff played cricket and Jay McEverly played left back.
One show has joined the chat and gone FBT.
Do you know what? That's rare. Me and One Show never agree, but we have on this one.
Now, the all-important Fool's Fool of the season. Which of our regular panelists that we think deserves recognition for their contribution across the whole season. In the interest of fairness, I'll give you all 2 nominations, but none of them can be yourself.
Yeah, cool.
Ben.
One is going to be Ned. I think Ned is he's quite positive town fan. He's a fan after my own heart. He's quite positive. He tries to put positive light on most things, though he is quite realistic on matters as well. He's got quite a good sense of humour, and you actually don't quite know what comes out of his mouth. And I do enjoy a good Ned report. And he did call Gianni, which was a brilliant shout. So yeah, Ned's one.
Okay.
And my other is my good friend Nick, the bottom left-hand side of my screen, who is just an all-round good egg. Obviously, I won't forget the sponsors do that we all set up. I think that was wonderful, and I'll be really appreciative and grateful of that. I think he has got good knowledge of the game. I love listening to his stories, especially some of the old days as well. I think, I just think he's a lovely man and all-round good egg.
Okay. Rich, who are you putting forward for Fools?
What are you asking me for? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Do you not want to put anyone forward?
No, I'm trying to think.
No, that's fine. Rich doesn't want to vote for anyone.
No, come back to me.
He can't vote himself, you see.
Oh, I don't know. There's too many to choose from. Why have we got so many panelists?
We've got 12, and you're not allowed to vote for yourself, which means you've got 11 people to pick from. Nick?
I would go for Mark, who always gives a very, very considered view, talks really well on any subject that we're discussing, very knowledgeable on coaching, tactics, players, Swindon. So I'd definitely go for Mark. He's always, I always sit back and listen to when he talks. So I think he's really, really good. And I've put down Ben for arguing with whoever, and then by the end of the argument, he's actually agreed with the person that he's having a spat with. So I just go for Ben because he's just absolutely quality in having a debate. So a great debater, quality, is always a good laugh, always enjoy it. So for me, Ben's my second nomination.
Okay, Woody?
None of you. I'm gonna go with. I agree with Nick's points about Mark, but I'm gonna be probably a bit brutal here and say that for me he's not been on enough.
Fair enough.
Mark is actually quite. Yeah, he needs to be on more.
So we've got we haven't seen Mark on a day that he's had a bad pod. I'm gonna nominate Rich for one of them because of his stepping up to the hosting duties when it's come to special guests.
Yeah, that's good shape.
He did do that very well.
And I'm not going to nominate Fifey because that's brown nosing.
That's fine.
I'm with Nick. I'm going to nominate. No, sorry. I'm going to nominate Nick because of the sponsors thing. That was such a nice touch as well. And such a great day out. Ben narrowly misses out because I do as much.
He didn't pay for you to have a sponsors day.
Yeah, he didn't pay for me to have a sponsors dinner. Yeah, but as much as he winds me up, I love the fact he's so passionate about the points he puts forward.
Yeah.
But Nick edges it for me on that side. So Nick and Rick,
because Nick's got the money, he's bought the votes.
Yeah, basically, yeah. he's got all Qatar. He's got all Qatar.
Before we give Rich an opportunity now that he's had a chance to think about it, Joe said, all of you, the content you deliver every week times 2 is impeccable. You should all be proud of what you do for the fans. Arch saying all of you, but Nick, Rich and Joe have always made us welcome at every away day. Great memories. And Tim says, free for me, Fifey for being all-round nice, friendly guy and has TV industry level skills in presenting and linking different parts of episodes together.
That's
very kind, and as has been made publicly aware, not necessarily a view shared by everybody. Rich?
Yeah, I agree with Woody in terms for Nick for doing the.
So Nick, you've bought the votes for Fool of the Year.
I know, that's
proud of yourself.
No,
it's not for your contribution on episodes.
I know.
No, it was.
No. Can't accept that.
He gave us the day out that obviously with for all of the Fools, or most of the majority of the Fools, to all come together really, and that was. I mean, obviously we've had moments and stuff like that already before that, but that was just such a great day, and I think it's one that's probably embedded in most of our memories, to be fair. So so that was obviously great, and I think I mean, obviously Fifey, you've done so much, but again, I don't want to be like Woody, I don't want to be brown nose, and so I'm gonna but I'd say probably a joint one on this one is probably Fifey and Mark, for obviously Mark again, really good knowledge and great angles. Say the same with Woody as well. But for Mark for arranging Picaretta to come on.
Yep. I was going to say at the start when I said you can't vote for yourself, I was going to kind of say you can't vote for me anyway, but I didn't want to come across as sumptuous that anyone might actually want to vote for me. So it's absolutely fine, none of you wanting to brown nose and pick me. I'm not upset by it. It's really hard for me to.
You would have got my vote, Fifey, but you kept kicking me off the Friday episodes. So.
Oh no.
We've got some more. We've got some more comments coming in. Tim's other two nominations were Rich and Woody. Rob's been in touch on YouTube. Fifey for the presenting, Woody for his knowledge, and special mention to Craig for the rants. We've also got Gary asking, why didn't I get a vote after my improved appearance stats this season?
This is true.
I don't like spreadsheets, so you can't have stats.
My nominations this year, my first nomination was going to go to Woody. A lot of people
don't even care if I win it now. I got the boss's award. So
Manager's Player of the Season. A lot of people, everyone, both the core group of Fools and the Friends of Fools we've mentioned before, do work hard to put on. This might be a shambles and a chaotic show twice a week, but there is a lot of hard work going. But I don't think a lot of people recognise how much work Woody in particular puts into sorting a lot of stuff out for me, whether it's special guests or helping me do some background research, particularly as he's helped educate me in the ways of women's football thus far. So Woody definitely gets one nomination. And my second one, because I assumed Nick was going to get plenty of nominations, I tried to think of a reason not to pick Nick. And therefore I decided it was either going to be Craig or Rich, for, again, similar to what was said previous about the hosting duties they've put in. And I opted for Craig because I think he's done it on more occasions and doesn't just step up when there's a special guest and a chance for glory.
Dagger out.
Wow.
It's like Kieran's only come from the show.
You couldn't do the Danny Wilson one, and
I think that's the comment of the season.
I didn't even want to do that one.
But what? But the reason,
I didn't want to do it.
All joking, you didn't, and you did very well, and you did very well on the other ones you did, Rich, and you should be very proud. And I'm sure you've got a long tenure ahead of you where you're going to get plenty of awards. But the reason I picked Craig is because the standout moment when I was trying to pick this was when I had a rare night off, went to the cinema. He couldn't log in, and out of nowhere threw together a Twitter one. Just to put some content out there. So that's the reason I nominated Craig.
To be fair, though, just going back to that very quickly, though, Fifey, I just remembered a rant that you had when you came on halfway during that space.
I did. I came on and ranted.
He's saying, I can't even get a fucking free night on a Friday. I can't just remember that.
Oh, class.
Fifey gets worst handover of the season.
So, in possibly the least shocking outcome of a vote in democratic history, this year's Fool's Fall of the Year goes to Nick. Well done, Nick. Nick's now going to feel it's somewhat tainted because everyone that nominated him mentioned it's because he bought a sponsor's dinner.
I know.
But he certainly contributes so much more than just his money, that's for sure.
Thank you, Nick.
It was given with love.
Tim says, whoever... Oh, I need it to flash up again. Whoever made the FRI introduction montage and has some of my musical wit knowledge in using the Fools Rush In song to match the name of the program. Although it's been pointed out in recent times, hasn't it, Woody, that the short bit of music we play doesn't actually use the words Fools Rush In it.
Yeah, it's a great track, by the way, and I feel really bad as somebody who's on the show. I can't remember the name of the band. I think we should give them some credit because they wrote that. Well, they didn't write it, but they purposely
they made it for us, didn't they?
Yeah,
they
made
but it was friends of Mark, wasn't it? It was a friend of Mark and his brother.
This is really bad of us. None of us know the name of the band.
Thank you, Marks, mate.
Thanks, Marks, mate.
Thank you very much. Mike's now remembering Angry Cinema Man, as I was referred to for a couple of weeks. And
yeah, it definitely was.
And Gary saying, "Good lad, Nick. Well deserved. Well done, Nick, on winning."
Cheers, Gary. Cheers, boys.
Well done, Nick.
And I promise you, it's not just because the sponsors dinner. You do contribute so much more.
It was good though, wasn't it?
That lamb shank, by the way.
Oh, lamb shank.
Lamb shank.
Lamb shank. It's been awful on the pitch, but off the pitch they can shank a good lamb.
The final award. Final award of the evening goes to Fool's Moment of the Season. This can be. I will open this up to anything. It can be an actual Fool's moment or just your personal moment of the season. If I can, I would like to start this one off. We've done. When you consider the low budget, non-professional element of this show, we've done some stupid shit over the season. We really have. But I think my favorite was the Halloween episode where we all dressed up. And I think Ned came on as like Mario or Wario or something. And Rich, you had like Jeff High style face paint and stuff on. I was there as Shaggy from Scooby Doo. And did everyone not dress up except Woody on that episode?
Yeah.
In my defense, I wasn't planning on being on it. So...
That's right. Joe's along the same lines. Nick looking like Cher.
Yes, I remember that was scary.
Oh dear. So that's my personal Fool's moment of the season. I would like to go to Woody next.
Oh, really? I'm trying to keep it just when we've been on the podcast rather than off the pot when we've done stuff together. Fucking hell, that's quite hard, actually. I think I'm gonna have to bring it back in the chat box. It has to be the chat box. That whole episode was just absolutely hilarious, even with the non-controversial answers. Yeah, it's difficult because I'm trying to keep it just to when we've been filming. But there's so much that happens afterwards as well. Like there was an episode that was only an hour and a half long, but we actually stayed on StreamYard for about 2 hours afterwards, and we were just in hysterics all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jackbox episode because that was great.
Let's go to Ben next.
I kind of agree with Woody. Yes, in the the episode that I really enjoyed was the Jackbox episode. It just had me in hysterics, had me in tears. But there's loads of little moments I quite like. Obviously, there's the day out, which was brilliant. But I'll never forget because I've never done anything like that before in my life. But getting recognition as well that was a surprise, complete surprise, being nominated for the best pod. Even just being the conversation on something like that was, it means that like people enjoy the output that we do, stepping up and going into StreamYard as well. This season, it's been a bit of a landmark for us. On the pitch has been quite shit, but we really stepped up from like where we were 12 months ago to where we are now.
Okay, go on, Ben. Milk this for everything it's worth, lad.
Yeah, we've grown. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it,
No,
even though the football has been shit, and I've argued with every single one of you. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been good giggle. Let's hope more of the same. Maybe a successful season we might get on, but we might not be as successful. I don't know, but we'll see.
Mike saying that his fool's moment of the season was Nick delivering his FRI calendar. That's rarity because none of us have got FRI calendars. Nick, your FRI moment of the season?
It's got to be one that come out unexpectedly, had the whole podcast members in absolute
Don't
stitches.
say it again, please. Oh, yes.
The clapper.
The clapper.
Was that was just absolute classic.
First
It just
ever clapper
stopped
episode.
everybody in their tracks. Like, what the hell's going on? So for me, it's Rich's.
What
And
a shout.
he'll never live it down. It'll always be, well done, Rich, for me.
Michael, love that.
Rich, your FRI moment of the season?
Oh, I'm trying to think of ones on the pod, but the first one that came to my head was it was on the sponsors day. We went to the New Cali Arms afterwards, and Warren literally just turned up and started pouring pints behind the bar. Said, that would have been my one. That was just absolutely fucking brilliant. I'm going to stick with that one because I can't really think of any more at the moment.
While we deliberate a winner, AC says, #1 STFC podcast. Keep it up next season. No content, no bias. Arse-licking content is clear. Thank you. That's very, 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 very kind. And then he follows it up with, Ben makes me want to do a Decanio and launch the TV off the wall at times, but helps make the pod what it is.
I generate emotion. That's all right. If you get really pissed off with me, as long as you don't hit me when you see me, I don't care. At least we're getting you glued.
Cozzy is following up a comment he made earlier and bringing it back for his moment of the year. Definitely Warren and Ned crying that they can't do this anymore. He loved that. Everyone you guys have said is a worthy winner. And as much as I want mine to be the one that gets it, I can't. I don't. I think I'm actually going to, because I know it would mean the world to him as well, I'm going to give the final award of the night to Rich and his clapper.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes. You've done
Well
it.
done, Rich. You got your award.
Yes.
The final award of tonight's FRI End of Season Alternative Awards goes to Rich and his clapper. We've got a couple more comments coming in. AC follows up his previous comments again, saying, "You generate rage and have me typing out replies and deleting them in a rage. Don't delete them. Let us know exactly how angry Ben makes you. We want to know exactly.
If they're that offensive, you won't show them. So just send them anyway."
And Joe does tell me to ignore this, but I'm not going to. My FRI moment was meeting Woody and chatting shit about that was supposed to read Dairy Lee Dunkers. I remember that as well. That's
Great conversation.
So long ago.
It was quite long ago. It was
I have to say, bowling in Northampton deserves the nomination as well when we got to spend time with the Archers. And for those who made it as well, last game of the season, breakfast with the Archers was class as well. Amazing times. But yes, Rich and his clapper wins the final award of the season.
Yes.
That brings...
how long has this season been? Because that feels like that was about 2 seasons.
Oh,
It does, doesn't it?
It's been a long year.
I don't feel like this season either.
Done now. Curtains closed. AFL closed today.
Gents, that essentially brings to an end the 2022-23 season. This is our last episode in May. But fear not, we will continue to be producing our twice-a-week show on Mondays and Fridays at the normal time.
Pre-season.
Indeed. But I will warn you, June is likely to be a lot of very suspect quizzes and maybe even a little bit of the award-winning Fools Rush in Jackbox.
Yes. Give the crowd what
we
they
also
want.
hope in the very not too distant future to have maybe a couple of very important announcements to make as well. So please do keep your eyes and ears peeled to episodes and socials for those. But on behalf of myself and everyone associated with Fools Rush in tonight's panel and the rest of the regulars, thank you very much. Hang on. What's going on here? We've got some more comments. I better throw these out. Offering an olive branch to Ben. Hey?
I've done my salute too early now.
Offering an olive branch to Ben. I admire him for sticking to his guns.
He said to me.
Cosy says, bring me back. Well, we've got a starting point with the Leicester City theme. Don't forget to drop me a DM, Christian, of how you can get involved. Don't you worry about that. Did 5 Feet get his date in the end with a special lady? No, there's no dates on the cards or being in the calendar. Yes, well, no. If anyone knows any special ladies that want a date, then you know where my DMs are.
And here is Stephen 5, 30 odd. Likes long walks on the beach and occasional pizza.
Mate, you don't maintain a figure like this with occasional pizza. What the last comment here from Arch, many more seasons to come, Fools. It's not just the football, it's the memories. That is the perfect way to end the show. On behalf of myself and everyone at Fools Rush In, thank you for everything over the course of this season. We really, really do appreciate it. We will see you on Friday as we kick off our summer content. But until then, good night.
Take